Hello everybody, the patch notes have dropped, so I had to read through these quickly last night, and then here we are the next morning having a more in-depth go through all of them. Now this is the patch that is for the new DLC, Yue Fei's Legacy, which is bringing in a new serve, new campaign, and a bunch of other stuff, which is on May 7th, so just around the corner. And also there is a bit of a teaser of the new stuff coming, a new DLC, new patches later down the road. So it's all very exciting. I do have some thoughts on this patch, so I want to get to them. We'll go through somewhat quickly as there's a lot to go through. So let's jump into it. First thing is about the rank season and events. And this is pretty cool. They're basically just tying it to dates, to months, rather than to updates, which is nice because it has felt a little bit unpredictable and inconsistent. And it's hard to sort of plan that out or get a feel for what is the season and what's the next season and so on. So I do like that change, and they've even got all of it planned out, the events and the like, which is really cool. I like that communication from them as well. Ranked pool, I mean, it's never great, is it? We have a quick look at least especially 1v1s. Dry Arabia's in there as always. Sunken Land's fine. Rocky River's fine. King of the Hill, you either love it or you're okay with it. Archipelago, cool. We'll just thumbs down that one. Same with Waterholes. Relic River is fine. Wastelands, it's okay. Hill and Dale, oh yeah, that's a welcome site too. So actually not too bad, not too bad. Team ranks, some garbage in there. There's some garbage in there, but that's okay. All right, moving right along. New maps. Okay, this is cool. So new maps coming out with the DLC. Ascension. Top of the hill. What? Okay, work their way up the hill for access to go. Okay, so it's all going to be on one side. Sure, we'll see what it's like, to be honest with you. Fangs, Jagged Mountains. Okay, Stealthwoods. Sure. Lots of lumber in the Stealthwoods. Beware of the wolves. Okay, so we're going to see some point of interest, are we? I assume some wolves' dens and the like. Okay, see what that's like. It's really hard to tell from that description. Snake River. Okay, use the river strategically to gather fish, so a hybrid map. Probably going to thumbs down that one. But we'll see. We'll give it a chance. And I remember being more excited about this one. West Lake. Large shallow lake dominates the center of the map. Traversable by foot. At its center lies a difficult to defend sacred site. Docks and ships cannot be built on this map, making control of the center more challenging. That actually sounds a lot more fun. I'm interested to see that one. Sheep distribution. This is cool. Particularly, I mean, it says Dry Arabia, Baltic, and Gorge. I've not felt too much of a problem with Gorge. Sometimes, of course, but that is the case with all maps. But Dry Arabia in particular has felt pretty bad for sheep distribution, with sometimes you feel like you get nothing, and other times you feel like you've got them all. So it's nice that they're sort of addressing that. And this is a bit different from just the usual notes that they say of just like fixing distribution. This is actually making more sheep near the starting base, which is a nice thing to know. So you can do more of a circle before you go out and about to make sure that you're going to be okay, at the very least, on sheep. So that's quite cool. Be interesting to see monitoring results. Yeah, be interesting to see if that works as a better source of distribution or not, compared to what they have now. There's been some EGC maps where they sort of mod them for the pro games, which look to include more sheep around your TC. I'm not so sure if I like that or not, so I guess it's a stay tuned for now. Okay, so there's some customization and quality of life stuff, which is really cool. New player colors, magenta and dark green. Now, this is a little bit bittersweet. They did say new player colors were coming, and I got really excited about that. I think a lot of people did. I guess 2 is colors, plural, though I would have liked to see at least a couple more. But I'm a dark green enjoyer, so I'm looking forward to that one. At least we're getting something. Can't complain too much. Random map and biome, that's fantastic. Parties no longer break up. Awesome. Fast exit from a game. Lobby settings remembered. Those are all fantastic. Just little things, but it's nice to have that, make those little improvements. UX, UI type stuff. This one is a lot bigger. Villager drop-off option. So a new hotkey and ability for villagers and fishing boats to drop off and then go back to work. Huge. There's obviously ways around it at the minute with, you know, shift clicking your TC or building and then shift clicking back. Or what some people do is they will take the villagers and garrison if they're like on sheep under the TC, and then immediately ungarrison, and that works fine too. But this is really nice and allows a little bit of that more micromanagement of forced drop-offs to get those tighter builds, and to, you know, if you need that extra bit of money to age up or or whatever it is, which is quite nice. So looking forward to that. I like that these sort of things are being included still in this game 4 or 5 years later. That's awesome. Civ Tech Tree. Yeah, they highlighted this a little bit, or teased it a little bit with the Jin Dynasty release or announcement. So cool to see that coming through. Points of interest. I mean, I like the points of interest concepts. I don't think it's quite there in terms of having the impact on games that we've seen with the existing ones. But having some new ones isn't bad. Heals nearby units that are controlling 2 health per second. Okay, that's very, very strong. And we've seen a lot of this sort of thing be more prevalent. That a healing is what I mean by that. Even players going for like Castile, Castle Age up with KT, basically to get that healing buff, let alone the extra things that it gives you with Genitors and the damage. But the being able to come back and heal your army is huge. So that's quite cool. Ancient Steel contains a tick, ancient knowledge, increased health of all current buildings and military units by 5%. All current ones. Can be researched multiple times, doesn't affect newly trained units. Alright, so buffing up your army. It's quite cool for like a late game when you sort of, if you're like max pop and you just want to buff everything you have and then take a fight, that's kind of cool. 400 gold takes 270 seconds to research. Yeah, it feels like a late game thing for sure. I wonder if it's more like central in maps and then you have to fight for it as a way of turning the tide. That's quite interesting. Not sure how that's going to work in practice though. Oh, right. Building range indicators are more accurate. Measured from the center. Okay, cool. Yeah, this was the whole, like squared circle, like range, garrison range, arrow range thing. Building size will not impact its range. Is that what was happening? Oh my gosh. The result is that the range indicator should now more accurately depict a target is in range. I mean, that's huge. Fingers crossed that's right. Because this was a real problem. Losing spearmen in a Dark Age rush or any sort of like contain that you're trying to do, and then losing units where you feel like you shouldn't because you're outside visibly of the range. So that's cool. Hopefully it works. AI update. I mean, I love that they keep doing AI stuff. I don't really care, but it's awesome. Hotkeys, Xbox, cool. Mount Lu, no all keeps. Okay, I have no idea that was happening. And then Guildhall is now selected with select all military buildings. Oh, and campaigns. Cool, whatever. UX UI, main menu stuttering. Dope. Okay, cool. And drop down menu lobby now has larger flags. Oh, cool. Okay, nice. Console. Love console players, but I don't care right now. Cool. Look, love it. Okay. Map changes. Increase the number of quick match. Cool. Baltic, cool, don't care. Ocean Gateway, also don't care. Okay, let's keep going. Balances and bug fixes. Landmarks now have to be fully repaired to regain their sight. Okay, cool. I assumed that was already the case, but now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, okay, interesting. Relics keep track of their cooldown when placed in a monastery instead of refreshing. Oh, is that what was happening? It was annoying where players could just keep spamming relic, but I always assume like conversions under the TC to delay a dive, basically. I didn't know that it was why that was happening. I assumed it's just because of the number of relics. Villages in the Forgotten Ruins point of interest will no longer be ungarrisoned by the return all to work. Cool. I mean, this doesn't come up too much on most of the maps, especially on ranked gameplay. But this is the one where you put in a villager and you get star and then it pops a relic out at the end. Cool. Corrected a bug which caused Ronin to not use voice lines. I just assumed they didn't have voice lines. That's cool. I like the Ronin a lot, actually. Sheep can no longer be assigned to building blueprints. Okay, cool. So it's like if someone loses their scout and then they build like a house or a mill blueprint, and then they can rally or move the sheep to that, and that means you can't grab the sheep from the dead scout. That was some bullshit, bro. That happens to me a lot. Obviously, it sucks if you lose your scout, but I'm glad that's gone. It was very bad manner of players to do that. Season's Feasts, cool. Crashes for console, hopefully that's fixed. Camera, okay, interesting. I mean, I just so hope a lot of these crashes are getting fixed. Burgage Lord's Boon now properly works with Japanese farm. What is? I don't know what that is. Is that Crucible? Docks no longer attack worker elephants when nearby. No idea that was happening either. Alright, design update rework. Juicy. Oh, meditation gardens in Jiangning Tower got changed. They talk more about this later, so I'll go down there. Wolf Den gameplay update. Okay, yeah. Honestly, I looked through this before. I don't really care. I don't like the Wolf Den one as a concept at all. We'll see how it plays out. Balance and gameplay changes. Okay, so this is big. Town center reduced from 400 wood, 350 stone to only being 300 stone. Okay, I'm a bit biased. I don't like making second town centers, or at least in feudal age. The only time I ever really do it is if I'm playing against an English player and I'm like, can't kill your stuff. I've got to outboom you. In most civs, 2TC boom can beat English 2TC boom. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. But otherwise, I really don't like to make a second town center. So I'm a bit biased. However, I don't think reducing the cost is a good way to incentivize 2TC because it means you're going to get it out faster, and that means it's harder to punish. And I do think a big part of playing 2TC is the interplay between aggression and punishing it, and how much you can punish it, whether you're killing it or you're killing a number of the villages around it, or not. And if you make it too easy to secure that second TC and make it safe so that you can then go into making units subsequently more quickly, and then you're fighting 2TC against 1 in feudal age, I really don't like that interaction. So I'll wait and see on it, but I'd much rather see the other sort of like aggression and fast castling be a little bit weaker than incentivizing 2TC by cost, or by making it faster, I guess is really what I'm saying. Because I worry that if you do make 2TC too safe, it's going to become the default strategy. And we've had 2TC metas before and they were awful. So I am biased and I'm very worried about entering that type of meta again, which is why I'm hesitant. But I'm willing to wait and see. Palisade wall health increased. I don't like this, to be honest with you, but fine. Okay, spear cooldown, spear wall or the brace cooldown reduced from 4 seconds to 1/4 of a second for all spearman type units. This is much needed, but before we celebrate too much, we'll have to wait and see how it comes out in the wash, because spear wall does have a downside. So bracing is obviously great in the sense of doing damage against any charging cavalry. It's a huge difference to then if the cavalry, especially knights, can get a charge off. That's huge. But then also not getting stunned and not taking as much damage from the spear. It is a lot of high DPS, that interaction between spearmen and knights. And if knights are free to do a lot of that attacking themselves, it gives them much better trading than if the spearmen do get the brace, in which case it's huge for them. So it makes a big difference. However, the downside to the brace is that they stop moving and they stand there and they wait for the knights, and the knights can be microed back out, and then they're just standing there doing nothing. The spearmen, I mean. So in a knight archer situation, what can happen is that if the spearmen are bracing too much, the archers will just get so much damage off and the spears won't be able to sort of micro around because they're stuck in that brace animation rather than walking towards the knights or walking towards the knights and archers. So, I mean, it's definitely better. The cooldown had to be reduced. The sweet spot will be interesting to see. I do just give the devs credit that they'll all have, play tested this and found that this works well. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. It needed to be changed. That brace cooldown needed to be changed a lot, or reduced a lot. Whether 1/4 of a second is the right place for it, we'll see. And whether anything more needs to happen, we'll see as well. But that's definitely a step in the right direction. I would have probably wanted to see knight damage come down, to be honest, across the board. But that's not happened, and it's a hypothetical anyway. Elite spearmen. So this is only for the elite, the Imperial Age ones. Health increase and movement speed increase. I like this. I think the movement speed in particular is quite big. It just feels awful making spearmen and trying to run around all the place against cavalry in the late game. So you do feel like a disadvantage if you're the player with the spearmen, so I like this. Springolds no longer gets range attack from blacksmith. That's a big nerf, but their damage goes up by 1. Okay. And roller shutter triggers gets 30% attack speed up from 25. So that's the Imperial Age upgrade. I mean, in Castle Age, it's still going to be down by 1 at least, right? So that does feel like a nerf, to be honest with you. Yeah, interesting. I wouldn't have thought they needed it, but I'll hold my tongue on that one until we see how it goes. Men at Arms. Okay, so they're basically across the board. All Men at Arms, unique and knots, have had their food reduced by 10, and their production time reduced a little bit as well. Men at Arms need some help, 100%. Is reducing their costs the thing that they need? I think fundamentally they don't really have a place at the moment. They kind of just sit there as a little bit of a slow tank, which is not going to be fixed by this. It's just going to make them a little bit more incentivized. I think probably, like, I don't really have a good solution for them either. So I think this might just be the devs like, well, we're not really sure what the best thing to do with Men at Arms is, but if we can reduce their costs and incentivize their use, if we see more of them, they'll give us more information to figure out. Because at the minute, they're just not really getting used at all. So maybe actually this is a good way of finding out. Because at some point, when you reduce their costs, they are going to get used regardless. So maybe this is a good change. Traders, pilgrims, and monk no longer attacked by lone wolves. Ooh, oh, wolf den still does. Okay, interesting. Like, cool. It kind of means like, what's the point of the wolves anyway? Then, but it's a nice little quality of life thing, especially for casual players. Like a little bit of micro to send a couple units or a unit to go kill off the wolves along your trade route was really annoying. It actually was a buff for pilgrim routes because they get the little like help, run faster thing. So small KT nerf, but otherwise, yeah, it's whatever. Units are being attacked but are not attacking enemy themselves and are counted as in combat for the purpose of reducing monk healing. Yeah, many implications, most of which villages which have been gathering while being attacked now receive reduced healing. Great change. Feudal healing in particular is a big problem. Healing villages. So the dervish, you know, like a Ubid fast castle with dervishes kind of stops that, where even a knight can't come in and kill a villager with those dervishes healing it while he's gathering gold. So I think that's good. I didn't like that. I didn't like that idea. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. It's just not a good interaction. This definitely improves it, and in a really clean way too. I like this. This is a lovely change. Silk bowstrings cost decrease from 300 wood 700 gold to 200 wood 500 gold. Okay. And in bonus range reduced from 1.5 to 1 tile for normal archers and mounted archers. Yeah, I like this change a lot. I think the range is huge, man. Like range makes such a big difference. Especially when you're like playing like Lancaster with like yeomen or longbows. It feels insane when you get silk bowstrings. So I think that's probably good, and it's still the 1 tile range if having it versus not having it is still really impactful. So I think this is actually a better change, and it's also because there are 2 archer upgrades with this and incendiary arrows. I just felt like it was too much, so I like this one being a bit cheaper but a bit worse. That's quite cool actually. All right, civ specific changes. Abbasid. Okay, Gulam, so that's just the Men at Arms equivalent. Golden Age has a new widget to indicate progression towards the next tier. Nice. Fixed a bug which prevented the player from collecting food from the market using the Grand Bazaar technology if spice roads had also been researched. What? Okay. Manjanique. Incendiary projectiles reduced 12 to 10. Amazing. Incendiary weapon bonus damage increased from 16 to 19. Okay, so the bonus damage side of it. So each one does more damage? Area damage range per incendiary projectile reduced from 1.5 tiles to 0.9. Okay, good. Right, so it's still a bigger splash. It's still going to do a lot of damage, but less. And the area is going to be less. That's good. I mean, it was just too much. It was too much. And it required no, like, really micro or anything. You just put them all on fire and just its amazing splash damage to everything. So, yeah, it needed to happen. Oh, Dervish is nerfed as well. So we had the previous nerf with the combat healing, and now we're actually reducing the count as well, or the amount of health per second. Or at least in Feudal, but then it does scale higher in Castle and Imp. But they only have the same of what they have now in Imp. So it is a pretty decent nerf. I mean, it's still good. That healing is always going to be good. If you can bring your units back to get it. So I like the change. I don't really like a Ubid. I don't really like playing as a Ubid, so maybe I'm biased. I feel for a Ubid players with this because it does feel like you're sort of getting multiple nerfs in the same direction, which yeah, I don't really know why you play a Ubid now after this. So maybe it's a bit much. Biz. Limited. Oh right, this is the Spearman equivalents. Oh, mercenaries change. Okay, so batch size reduced, but cost reduced for longbowmen. And then why are we then talking about keshiks and javelins under the longbowman one? They're just equivalent batch. Okay, so reducing them all. Okay, cool. Yep, I think that's probably good. Gula. All right, to match sort of the changes to men at arms. Keshiks, a little bit of reduced as well. Okay. Royal cannon replaced with regular cannon. Okay. Ranking guard. Okay. Mangonel placement damage reduced. Yeah, I think that. I mean, that shit's OP, man. Golden Horn Tower now produces units 15% more slowly. I think that's valid. Dromons, this is their Springled ship replacement. No, whatever. Cistern can select its influence while it's under construction. Oh, that's a nice little quality of life thing, I think. It's nice to be able to set and forget these things. Fixed an issue granted mercenary Keshiks, Mangadai, and Knights more health than intended after aging up with the engineering company and researching biology. Oh, interesting. I've not really seen this make an impact, but interesting it was bugged. Nest of bees now benefit. Oh, they didn't before? Ooh, from the additional barrels. That's quite a big difference. Prevented a mercenary camel rider from benefiting from camel handling upgrade. Dude, I didn't realize how many bugs there were with the Byzantine mercenaries. Most games don't really go that late, and it's quite rare that what sort of combination of mercenaries you end up using. So interesting. It's good that they fixed these, but I don't know how much of an impact they were having for people. Lanchnet Camel Rider couldn't be upgraded to elite if it was researched from the Golden Horn Tower rather than the mercenary house. Oh shoot. When choosing, the first unit in contract will be displayed in the foundations of every mercenary. Okay, so you can tell as the opponent what they've got. That's awesome. Chinese taxes no longer deposits 1 gold each time. Oh yeah, okay, I did read this one. So now instead of being able to like micromanage and force more drop-offs, it's just a percentage of how much you drop off. It should have been like that from the start. I love skill expression and micro, but I don't think that's a good one. You should be using your attention elsewhere, and it rewards. Yeah, it's just silly sort of APM dump to do that. And yeah, a lot of players weren't doing it anyway, but I don't like it. It's already enough going on with China. Don't make more of it. So that's cool, and it's the same for fishing. Fire lancers damage increased. Ooh, and elite increased by a lot, and grenadier movement speed increased. I don't think it really matters for grenadier, but fire lancer changes is nice. When's the last time you saw one of those? But they were really fun. They had their time in the sun was too much, too bright. But it would be nice to see them get some play. Palace Guard, okay, so men at arms change again. Great Wall Gatehouse, you can now target with it to have the nest of bees attack. That's cool. I like that. And a bug allowed more IOs to be queued. Yep, that's cool too. That caught me out a couple times. Tower Victory now correctly grants 20% attack speed on average. It should be a roughly 5% improvement to attack speed for each infantry unit. I didn't know it was bugged. We haven't been seeing a lot of Tower Victory. I don't think that actually changes, to be honest. I think Dome with Faith is still much better for Delhi, but if it was bugged and it gets a sort of effective buff, that's nice. English, Call to Arms production time for bonus for men at arms reduced from 50% to 40% faster. Yep, that's good, especially in Imperial Age. Anything that makes games end faster, oh my gosh. And the men at arms spam was just horrendous. White Tower Garrison from reduced 20 to 15. Amazing. I don't know why it had 20. That was insane. King's Palace produces villages 10% faster. Is that worth it? That's 2 seconds, right? 20 seconds normally. Yeah, I guess it adds up slowly. Every 10 you get an extra one. Yeah. Cool. Nice little buff, but I don't know if it's really going to incentivize much King's Palace play. And Impalings. Increased damage. Okay, sure. Whatever. French. Free traders spawn from Chamber of Commerce now trained instantly. Oh, that's big. So if you do the sort of build, it's been used a bit with the trading where you get all of your techs like in Dark Age, so you get your wheelbarrow and your like forestry survival techniques, and then you get the Chamber of Commerce. And before it had all of them queued up. Now they'll all pump out instantly, which means, and especially early on when your opponent's not going to have the chance to have any units to prevent it, it means you are going to get those early trips off, which means you're going to have a lot of gold. It's kind of like KT rushing Pilgrim. You're going to get a bunch of gold early that's untouchable. So it's actually potentially a big buff. See how it plays out. Golden Horde. Starting wood reduced. Oh no, they're going to gut them, aren't they? Production edict reduced from 20% to 15. That's fair. It is too strong. Minute arms. Okay, that's the same equivalent. Change. Uvu offering. So this is the upgrade in the castle age of extra stone. Reduced from 30% to 20. Oh, I don't like this. Uvu ceremony. This must be the next one, I assume. Reduced from another 30% to 20%. I don't like the man, like, there's a big problem with the stone with Golden Horde, man, and it's ever since they changed the reinforcements. Like, what you spend it on is just, it should be a real active choice based on the style of play or units that you're going to be using, and it's really not. It's at the minute, it's just about getting out as many units as you can, and then there might be an upgrade or two that you like look to get for. But like, you don't see anyone going, like, if you don't even see people going for reinforcements because it's too expensive, and if you're going to reduce the stone gather rate, you're going to see even less. You don't see players going for like triple shot Kipchaks, which would be lovely to see. You don't see people going for like the tall goody one. What is it, Torgon Horseman or whatever. You don't see people going for the signal arrow with the Khan. Like, it's just, you need to use it in the best way. You don't get enough. Like, make them weaker but give more, I think would be nice. Yeah, they talk about a bit more here. We'll get to it. Town center reduced 850 to 750 wood. Right, so it's a corresponding change. Sure, I talked about that already. Armor granted by padded armor tech being reduced from +2 to +1. Is that the tall good horseman one? I didn't think it was OP. I guess it's strong once you get it, but it's so expensive. Interesting. Maybe they must have seen something with it that I haven't seen that makes it a problem. But yeah, okay. Scouts trained from the stables now train in Batch 1 rather than 2. Yep, that's nice quality of life. It wasn't so bad because they do have the Scouting Falcon, so they're always going to be really useful having the extras, but you would rather have 1 than 2. Reinforcement upgrades now properly apply to newly constructed buildings. Right, so it's just a bug fix, which is nice. HRE, Landschnick, health increase from 85 to 90 and elite from 100. Just 5? I would like to see a bit more. I do understand with Landschnick, you've got to be a bit careful with buffs, especially to survivability, because, you know, if that survivability translates to 1 extra swing, that's a lot of damage extra, which is coming through before it dies. And obviously they're going to melt to archers, and this doesn't change that. But if it does mean in a melee versus melee fight, which is basically the only time you're really making them, that they survive for an extra hit or so, then that's quite big. So I get being conservative with it, but I would like to see them get a bit more love. It's my favorite unit in the game, so I am biased. Lancaster, my beloveds, how have we dealt with you? Mana cost reduced from 225 wood to 175. Stone remains the same. Nice. That's cool. The way manas are now, since the change, you don't really have much incentive to make a lot of them, so making them cheaper, I think, is good. If they need to be tuned down, that's fine, but I do think making more of them is an important part of the identity of Lancaster, which we've lost since the rework. Girl's Guard change, yep, cool, it's the same. But the dagger throw cooldown increased, which is kind of the only thing they have going for them. Like, they've got the extra speed and they've got dagger throw. Dagger throw, like 3 of them does kill a villager, so that's like big. Although you can just get textiles as a counter to it. And then it's the only thing they have going for them. So it kind of sucks, but it's only 2 seconds is what it is. White Tower is the same, cool. King's College tech discount increased from 15 to 20%. I mean, this needs to be incentivized more. I think King's College is a really important landmark that's a lot more unique for Lancaster, and not seeing it get played really sucks. The White Tower nerf doesn't really affect whether Lancaster's going to go for it or not, so I don't know if that buff is enough. But cool, step in the right direction. And Lancaster Castle, I do remember reading this one. It's nice. Muster and Noble, so this is the first one where you get the Demi-Lancers out, and the more manas you have reduces the cost, but it doesn't give you more Demi-Lancers anymore. So having 5, that is actually a pretty significant buff. This could be useful, especially if the mana cost means that you can get a couple. At the minute, you've been seeing Lancaster players go for like a 2 TC, 1 or 2 mana build, with Abbey, of course, not Lancaster Castle. Which seems to be more beneficial than this, assuming the Lancaster player can survive. But I don't know, especially like with the TC being cheaper now, like surely this is worse. Like, I don't think you go for this, but at least it's something in the right direction. And in these ones, I mean, it doesn't really matter. If the feudal age thing isn't improved, I don't think these things are going to make much of a difference. It's whatever. But it's nice to see some change. But I think fundamentally Lancaster's identity is still a problem. It was their identity. I know they were too strong before. Their feudal aggression was too much, and the mana rework looked to change some of those problems, particularly with passive income generated by a large number of manas. But they lost all of their identity with it, and I think that's a big problem with Lancaster, and I miss them a lot. So hopefully we see more coming for them, as I don't think this quite fixes it, but at least it's a step better than what we have now. I'll definitely be giving them a try. Samurai cost, okay, cool. It's the same. And Bannerman, actually, both the sort of melee Samurai Bannerman and the Archer Yumi Bannerman get a food reduction. That's interesting. I wonder why the Yumi one does. Shinobi range armor increased from 0 to 1. Sure. Shinobi actually really good. I don't think they need help, but okay. Temple of Equality, 5 Mountains Ministries tick is now granted immediately when this landmark is constructed. Was there only researchable in Imperial Age before? So this one, this is the one with like the monks that do the damage reduction spell on opponents. Now the 5 Mountain Ministries one is the one that makes the damage reduction aura around the monastery itself, including the Temple of Equality. I've never seen it used. I've never seen it be impactful. I've never seen it researched. So I guess that's why they're introducing it, but I don't think it's impactful. So I don't think it's going to make a difference, but maybe. I mean, the Temple of Equality itself is not that bad. So it's going to at least be in the game more when people build it. So maybe we'll see some use from it. Deflected armor. Cooldown increased from 8 to 15 seconds out of combat. Yeah, it has to be. Shinobi can no longer use sabotage on indestructible points. Okay. Fixed a bug causing an existing spearman to lose a Nagayari weapon when upgraded to hardened veteran or elite. So that's the Imperial Age spearman upgrade. And normally, almost always, you'd be elite by the time you got it. So nice to fix a bug, but I don't think that was impacting players too much. Jeanne d'Arc, my girl. I love JD. No information on the rework. That was one of the first things I looked for, but some changes nonetheless. So Jeanne's champion, so the unique min arm, does have the food reduced and production time reduced. They're still useless. The riders have a little bit of a niche, being like hard counters to crossbows, but the champions are just too expensive, and they're countering a spearman. It's like cool, but you'd probably rather have men at arms, and then archers do better against spearmen anyway. So they don't really have a niche, unfortunately. I would like to see a bit more with the Jeanne's champion in particular. But also the riders. Free trader spawn. Okay, so they get the free trader thing. Awesome. This could be actually really good. I think JD's got a lot more potential for this, for that Chamber of Commerce play to be relevant. As you invite an opponent to attack your trade, it means you're going to be fighting with JD more in feudal age. It means experience coming your way. So be interested to play this one. I'll give this one a try for sure. And if fix an issue with JD would not benefit from companion equipment upgrade if it was researched from the blacksmith. So this one gives her more damage and health alongside her buddies, but I had no idea this was bugged, and I'm pretty sure I always get this from the blacksmith unless I've gone Royal Institute. So this might be why. I mean, I lose my JD all the time, and I think this is why. So I'm glad it's fixed. I guess my Jeanne d'Arc will never die from now on. Thank you, developers. KD Condottiero. Damage reduction versus gunpowder damage improve. Oh, okay, so they take even less damage from gunpowder. Huge. They still don't really get much play. I think they were already very good against gunpowder, but that was kind of their niche. So I'm not sure if that makes a difference, but I'm interested to see if players can pull something out with them. And elite heavy spearmen increase their health by 10. I think that's good. Heavy spearmen are great early castle age, but once your opponent does get a number of crossbows out, they become near useless. So kind of cool to see that. I don't know if it makes a difference, but it's something. Royal Cannon replaced with regular. Yep, okay, it's the same. Ranking the same. Ooh, actually, no, not just the same. Cost reduced, sure, but their actual feudal ranking guard health reduced by 5. Radari by 10 in Castle and Imp. And then Spearman increased in Elite. Okay, that's the same thing. So, I mean, this needs to happen, right? Like, Radari health is their problem. And particularly against crossbows. This means that you need fewer crossbows to be able to one-shot them, or, I mean, even two-shot them. And that's really important. I think that the count, I can't remember exactly what it was. Once you just had your sort of normal standard upgrades, like +2/+2 type of thing, how many crossbows you needed to one-shot a Radari, but it was ridiculous. So this actually does, I think this makes quite a big impact, so that's really good. Reducing feudal rank guard, I thought they were already pretty shit, so I'm a little bit sad to see that, and I do think this actually makes quite a big difference in the feudal age, the Varangian guard health or any men-at-arms health, so not stoked to see that. I would like to see, if anything, them be more part of their identity as actually going for these Varangian guard and feudal age, so it's a bit sad to see the double whammy, but is what it is. I should actually say triple whammy, because I forgot the Hippodrome reduces the health on everything. So the champion Scout, Horseman, and Radari. And the Radari loses melee armor as well. Crikey. So yeah, a 20 health and a 30 health for Radari. That's a huge nerfs. I don't really like these, to be honest. I think this does not make me excited to play Macedonia in the slightest. And it was already only very small amounts that were making me want to play them from a fun perspective. So I'm not super stoked. Warcamp now has a UI widget. Cool. Nice. Nice. That's actually quite cool. Indicating progress. That's cool. Okay, so TC for Malian is less gold as well. It's okay. That makes sense. Cool. It's equivalent. Frimbit, unless 3 upgraded units in the car. Oh, okay. So you can get the other 2. You get your 1 for free like you do now, but used to lock you out of the other ones, and now you can get them for actually a pretty low cost too. 100 food, 250 good. 50 gold. That's actually really good because they all have their niches. Like each of the units is actually really good. Like, you know, the sort of Freeborn and Mustafades being sort of anti-melee, anti-ranged. And then the Poison Javs being so strong as well. I think that's really cool, actually. I'm interested to see if that makes it a lot more popular rather than the niche it has now. Imported armor costs increased, a bit more food and a lot more gold. 350 to 500. Crikey. Yeah, I mean, so far are a problem, so I'm not upset about it, but that is quite a big nerf. It basically means you get it later, which is I think is a good thing. Otherwise, what it is now is basically the Mali will sort of cow boom and they'll get Castle Age, and then they can just start pumping really, really strong Sofa from the start, which is a problem. If they can then get those stronger Sofa later in the Castle Age, I think that's less of a power spike, so that's a good thing. Elite Donzo, okay, same change. And ranch cost increased 100 wood to 125. That's actually quite significant. That's quite big. Shoot. That slows down the carbon quite a bit, I think. Mongol, my boys, my beloved. I have read these and I wasn't too happy. Town center cost reduced. Cool. Whatever. I don't want to ever make that, but that's nice. Stone cost for okay, men arms. Target power. So military academy no longer applies. So we knew that improved military academy was bugged. We were hoping it was going to get fixed. Instead, they've gone the other way and completely taken away military academy from the Karganet. So that makes it just worse, right? It's a nerf to its production speed. And the Hoi Hoi power and Nestabes are now less likely to spawn than other units. I think that's good, especially if you did get sort of like 2 Hoi Hoi powers in quick succession. It was awful. It really felt like the RNG is good. I like it actually, but it still needs to be useful, just useful in different ways, and that kind of was a problem. I actually think they should take the Hoi Hoi power out of it entirely and just allow it so that you can build it from siege workshops if you go for the Karganet Palace. But it's still something. It's still better than previous. Mongol double production for scouts now is the correct cost. Cool. And console, cool. So that's whatever, man. Whatever. I'll still play him, but come on, man. Give me something. Order the Dragon, my boys. Gilded men-at-arms. Okay, so reduced food accordingly. Production time, yep. And then feudal health reduced. I don't know about that one, man. Were they a problem? I guess for lower league players, maybe. I've never had a problem with them, but I do think yeah, probably. That's probably right. It's fine. Guild Landschnecht health 5? Dude, I was complaining about HRE only getting 5 hit points, and then the ones that count as 2 only get 5 health increase as well. No, dude, no. That's so sad. I hope these get looked at more later. Such a cool unit, man. Ottoman. Sipahi Fortitude, bonus attack speed reduced from plus 50 to 40%. Cool. But it's not the problem with Sipahi. Seagate Castle now increases the damage of all defensive structure by 20%. Okay, I mean, it does need more going on. Seagate just... it's a weird one. It doesn't really have a place. Imperial Palace. Increases Vizier experience globally rather than just around it. That's cool. And you get an extra Vizier point, so 3 to 4. Does that make it useful? I don't know. I don't know. Need to play it more. I haven't gone it since they changed it last time, to be honest with you. But if your Vizier experience increases by a lot, which this could do, because your initial one that's underneath the blacksmith, that could actually mean you're getting them so fast that you can get the extra Janissaries, you can get the bombard, you can get all these things really, really quickly and essentially for free. So it could give you some really good timings. Maybe it is good. Maybe it is good. And with the fortifications one as well, you can get extra things like Anatolian Hills or the Methadrums. I'm starting to sell myself on it, actually. This could be good. Imperial Council. Oh, Akinji. Okay, I did see this. Yes, Akinji. Okay, so move from tier 2 to tier 1, and the number of free reduced from 3 to 1, and it's swapped with Anatolian Hills. So I like this a lot, and I'm very excited to see how this plays out. It could be incredibly OP, or it could be useless. Akinji's problem currently, by being in the second tier, by the time you could get them out, they were essentially obsolete. So they do a lot of damage. They have a short range and they're very squishy. No armor, and they got like, I can't remember how much health, but not very much. So if your opponent has archers out, or they've got like fortifications like towers and yeah, basically like they're short up with archers or towers, then you can't really do any damage. They're kind of good in the straight up fight, but if they've got a bunch of archers, or they're going castle age, then they're not good. They fall off. But early on, they do so much damage, and they do damage against armor as well. So they're going to do damage against any unit, even horsemen, really. So having them early on means they will have a lot more use. They'll fit a niche, and they are still really squishy. So I think they're intended as a raiding unit, but I actually see them being less of that, because once you get a tower up, if you can't dive TC, if you get a tower up, the garrison will kill it, not just hurt it, but like genuinely 5 fills in a tower is going to kill it. I don't really see how it's going to be helpful. And archers, yeah, will just sort of one-shot them so easy. And their range is, I think, 4.5, whereas archers 5. So yeah, they're not going to work so well there. But is there potential that early feudal age, they do a lot of damage, and that can sort of get you a bit of an advantage? They destroy villages if you can get on them. And maybe mixed with Sipahi, there's a lot of work to be done then. I'm not sure. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm very excited to see it given a go, because they've been added for the game for a while and been completely useless the whole time. So at least we're going to see, even if they are OP, at least we get to see them. And Anatolian Hills going the other way, kind of, I think for casual players, this kind of sucks, because this is a real nice to have. You get all the extra sheep, and you get the mining bonus, which is just a nice, like, no micro, like you don't have to do anything, you just get a nice bonus, which makes you feel sort of nice and safe, and gives you a bit of economy, which is nice. But it always was the case that the Imam point is kind of better. The meta point has kind of really fallen out of favor recently, but the Imam one is so good and scales really well. So putting this into the second tier, does it mean you don't go for it really, or you only go for it if you need to? Probably, but it could also sit there for players as a nice to have. But then it's competing now with the military school one, which always feels like it's the one you want to get. So I don't know if this really gives it as much of a place, and I don't know if this makes it worse for casual players playing Ottoman with that first point. If you don't want a Kinji, then, and you can't really make use of the Imam point because it's quite micro intensive, and the meta drum's not going to help you too much, then does it kind of feel worse? I'm not sure. I guess we'll see how it goes, but an interesting one. Sultan Hani trade network, trader income increased from 24 to 26 gold per minute. So this is the feudal landmark, not the food one. And this is when you garrison the traders in it, and you get passive gold rather than actively trading with the market. Nice little buff for sure. We don't see it enough, so it's nice to get that. But I think, especially with the way the game is played at the minute, having safe and faster food gathering is so important. Like, you can put 5 villages on the food for the I can't remember what it's called now, but the food one is so big. And then you can still, even once you start getting upgrades, it's still like 4 and 3 villages on that, and it's a lot of food you get. It's a lot of safe food and infinite food. It's hard to go past, but maybe this is useful. It's not bad. That's the other thing. The only thing is that the other one is so good. Istanbul Observatory reduced production speed bonus from 100 to 90. Yeah, that's the Imperial Age one. It is just really good. People are still going to go for it, don't get me wrong. It's just that you get so many units and you don't need any villagers and you just pump out free units. So it's good to have that reduced. Corrected the cost of the Siege Workshop. Cool, nice. Rus. Okay, this one I think is kind of interesting. I think Rus are in an interesting spot already, and this makes things even more interesting. So Abbey of the Trinity. So further cost and research time reduced from 275 gold, 45 seconds, to 150 gold, 25 seconds. Huge cut cost. This further upgrade is the one that's unique to Abbey. It gives your Saint's Blessing on your Warrior Monks bigger radius and +1 attack. So this is quite good for if you do go for Abbey and you sort of have this. I think it's really good. I've used it a few times. This Horse Archer plus Warrior Monk composition, and maybe even adding in like Knights or Horsemen or even Scouts as sort of like a melee fire damage addition. But with Abbey, your Warrior Monks are so cheap, like 200 food, 100 gold. You're not spending your gold on anything else because you're making Horse Archers. So you're just spamming them out. And with further, you get even extra attack damage, which for Horse Archers is so important because remember they got nerfed, so their attack damage was reduced, but their attack speed was increased. So the extra damage affects the attack speed even with higher attack speed even more, has a greater effect. So it's really good having that further upgrade compared to when you go Warrior Monks normally without the Abbey. So I think this is actually quite cool. And I've already been trying Abbey a bit, and it does feel very strong. The only downside to going Abbey is you don't get all the bounty and the passive gold from High Trade House, which just feels like such a strong landmark still. Again, safe passive food that's infinite, and the extra gold that you can just spend. You just don't need all the like heaps amount of gold for Roost. So if you get some relics plus High Trade House plus hunting cabins, you just feel like you're sorted, which feels great. So yeah, an interesting one. I like Abbey as it is now, so I'm interested to try it out more with this buff, particularly that Horse Archer Warrior Monk style. Kremlin military levy reduced from 55 food to 30. I think that's great. Kremlin's already actually pretty good now. Oh, and upon reaching castle, now spawns an extra militia hand cannon. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I wonder what the stats on that are, but that's quite cool. And also having a hand cannon castle age is quite cool too. Kremlin's already pretty good, and with the TC buff, having it be Kremlin 2 TC is actually already a very viable strat, and is only going to be more so. So, and yeah, an interesting one. I don't know if it needed buffs, but the food reduction is definitely welcome, and the castle age thing is quite cool. So I like it. Bruce needs some help, I think, and that gives him something. Palisade. What, dude? This is already so much. 2,500 is half of a landmark. Now it's even more. I know they buffed the other walls, so they're buffing the improved ones, but they're so tanky. It's crazy. Sengoku. Okay, so I mean, Sengoku are a problem. Mounted Samurai and Eco are a problem. This does go some way to changing this, right? So we've got no longer get survival techniques for free. That's good. Not super impactful, but good. Samurai, same thing. Mounted Samurai, though, costs a little bit more gold. I think that's good. I think gold count is very important. Samurai bow upgrade. I mean, haven't really seen it. If this means we're going to see more of these Samurai bows and people actually going for the infantry daimyo, that's cool. I've not really seen it. It feels very niche-y, and I don't really know what that niche is. So I'll wait to see. I'm not going to comment out too much now, but it's nice to see it get some love because it's a really cool upgrade. But it's really gonna need this Mounted Samurai to be pretty shit before we see it used. Fixed a bug where Elite Mounted Samurai could get 1+ base damage from the Odachi upgrade. Oh, I had no idea. That's good. The Elite Mounted Samurai are so good, you really didn't have to make anything else. Deflective armor cooldown increase. Yep, same as Japan. That's good. Not as big of a thing for Sengoku only in the late game, but nice nonetheless. Fixed an issue with the daimyo or attack speed bonus applied a larger than intended modifier in castle and imperial ages. Brackets, this is a nerf. Yeah, so this was bugged. I didn't know it was bugged, but I definitely knew that attack speed was the problem. The Mounted Samurai just attacked so fast, the DPS was so high, spearmen could not counter them because the spearmen died too fast, they didn't get enough attacks off themselves. It was the biggest problem beyond anything else, so nerfing their attack speed, with all things considered, is great. Especially in the late game. Issue Eco Monk to apply the Sohei Sutra debuff. So that's the Temple of Equality Buddhist monks damage debuff. I've never seen this. I didn't know it was a thing. I wonder what the issue was, but I've never seen it. So good to fix it nonetheless. Took luck. Worker elephants now always return to their previous position. Oh, nice quality of life. Love it. Ballista Elephant, oh, this is the spring will change, but for Ballista Elephants, that's cool. Docks can no longer garrison monks, right, because they don't need to, doesn't make sense for them. And garrison space reduced accordingly. Okay, cool. Has a little bit of an impact on hybrid maps, because you can only put 3 fishing ships, not 4, which was a little bit of an advantage they had, but good nonetheless. Emir Warrior reduced the armor from infilage from 5 to 3, and then improved it later on. Good. I mean, it's just nerfing the fort rush, so they can't just dive to TC. Yep, much needed. Good change. Nice, easy, clean fix as well. Jushi text is the same, cool, as the Chinese change. Same with Grenadier. Palace Guard, same as Men at Arms. And here we go. So this is what we sort of teased about earlier. Jiangnan rework and Meditation Gardens rework. So Jiangnan, this was completely useless landmark, so it needed a full rework. And I don't really get how this works, but it's interesting nonetheless. So no longer grants a free military unit whenever a military building is constructed, which is what it does currently. Now it produces free armies, whatever that means, whenever a military building or military unit is produced within influence. So kind of like, I feel like Vizier points for Ottoman. And then, or Vizier experience, I should say, rather than the points. And so once you get enough of that experience, then it produces an army, whatever. I don't know what an army means. Whether that, and what type of unit that is, how many units that is, whatever. Each subsequent army requires more resources to be spent until 12 have been trained. So it's cool. You get more units over time. That's what the idea of Jiangnan was, but you had to keep making buildings, which you had no incentive to do, so it didn't make any sense. The payoff just didn't match the investment. So a cool change. Hopefully it's good. And I'd like to see more feudal aggression from Jushi. Meditation Gardens reworked. So no longer generates resources per minute based on nearby resources, so completely taking that out. Now it gradually increases the resources in nearby deposits up to a maximum of 60%. Generates bonus resources once that cap is hit on a deposit, and again when the resource is depleted. Trees are half as effective as other resources. Yeah, the devil was going to be in the detail here. If this affects like sheep, if you can get like sheep to get increased and then you get extra when it hits and then when it ends, that would be huge, like absolutely huge. So maybe that doesn't exist. I don't really know what counts as deposit, but I wouldn't have thought trees would count as a deposit, but they clearly do if they're halved. So I'll wait and see on this one. It sounds really good. But if it affects food, it's really good. I mean, maybe even berries has a big implication. Its effect on gold and stone, and then maybe wood if it's only half effective. I'm not sure. It would be OP if trees were fully, and you just had each of those trees with just so many of your main wood line is just gonna have so much resource. But yeah, we'll wait and see. But it seems like the kind of thing you'd probably still put on your wood line and try to get your food in there. But it depends on spawn, and I don't know. Definitely very interesting. I'm keen to see how this plays out. Fishing ship thing as well. Roar of the Dragon. So that's like the explosion fire lancy thing for Imp. Now correctly creates visual explosions. Nice. It did look a little bit sad. Don't really see it used though, which is a shame. I'm not sure a visual fix is going to mean it's used more. And Jiangnan and Mount Lu have had their icons swapped, which is cool. I think that they fitted each other better. Ongoing, known issue, select idle military hockey is able to select units which are in combat from idle aggression. Oh, I use this and never noticed. Maybe I don't use it enough. And then on the horizon, sweet. So at the end of May, so this patch coming out early May. At the end of May, early June, there'll be another patch, which is good because this one doesn't feel like it quite hits all the points that I was hoping for, especially with some of those weaker civs like Lancaster and Mongol. So hopefully we see more out of that, and of course it's going to have such a big impact with the DLC and another civ coming in. And they do tease there is another DLC in the works for this year, which is crazy to think that we're getting one in May, 5th month. We're going to have another one before the end of the year. So within 6 months type of thing. That's really exciting. I'm so stoked. These devs, I think, are doing a great job. No matter how much I might criticize little tweaks, ultimately it's such a good job they're doing, and expanding on Crucible as well with a new mission. Going to have the Vikings coming on in, which is very exciting. And we do know the Vikings are coming in that later DLC, which is going to be a fan favorite, I'm sure. So really exciting. Cool patch. I think there's a lot going on in here. There's some stuff in there I don't like. The 2TC thing is the main one for me, and we'll see how the brace charge has an impact, because that's probably the other biggest change. But yeah, definitely a wait and see. So there we have it. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much. Cheers, and bye-bye.